after having such a brilliant presentation by Dr. Kasturandan, I don't think I have really anything to add substantially in what he has said. In fact, his presentation was so all-pervasive, touching all the issues that are really relevant to this sector, and I really thank him for doing that at the beginning of this particular program. Today, the country is divided on a very important issue of nuclear aid. If you go and talk to somebody, we are no longer talking about inflation, we are no longer talking about unemployment, we are no longer talking about food scarcity, but each of us are now divided into two camps, supporting nuclear deal and opposing nuclear deal. And country is really divided. But that's something which is going to pass very soon. I remember a few days back when Finance Minister presented his budget, everybody was talking about loan waiver. Of course, not anybody was saying that I am opposed to loan waiver because it's politically incorrect to say that. But the whole country was talking about loan waiver. But this disappeared. I'm sure this issue also will go away. But one thing on which probably we really get divided soon is on water issues. Water is something which is going to be so important issue in the next few years' time that probably we'll have to really be standing on one side of the river or the other side of the river and we'll be fighting, like Dr. Kasturandan said, the real war. We are not going to fight a nuclear war, I hope not, but we'll definitely fight the water war. And the day is not very far from now when that would happen. Why that should happen? Because there is limited water resource and there is unlimited demand for water. Unlimited demand from population which is existing today, but more so from the population which is going to be born tomorrow. We are estimating that India is going to be 1.6 to 1.8 billion by 2050. And there are people who say that we are going to benefit from that because India is going to be a young country and therefore the demographic dividend is going to accrue to India. But whether that is correct or not is not an issue for today's debate. But for sure, the increase in population is going to put tremendous pressure on water, at least on water. On the other hand, climate change is also putting a lot of pressure on water. If there is one sector which is going to be affected by climate change, is water. In many ways. One, by availability itself. Probably because of changing weather pattern, changing monsoon pattern, the availability of rain itself is going to be under serious question. But also the demand for water is going to rise because of climate change. The cropping pattern has to change, will have to change. The heat, the atmospheric temperature going up will mean that all the crops are going to require more water for survival. Again, because of changing in climate, probably the sea level will rise and fresh water will be under threat because saline water is going to come inland. And variety of reasons, climate is also going to put pressure on water. So population, climate change are going to put tremendous pressure on water, which is really under stress. Then again, the new recent data which is made available about the availability of water itself. People are questioning, and two scientists are questioning, whether what really the precipitation that we talked about, is it really there or is not there? Again, that's something which is to be explored more, to be studied more. But one thing is sure, that in the next few years' time, if there is one issue on which, for sure, there are going to be, like Dr. Kasturandan rightly pointed out, there are going to be wars for sure, not just between two nations, not just between two states, but between two communities, between neighbors who have been living very peacefully, between two neighboring villages, it is going to be water. And therefore, water is something which is going to be so crucial for us that we need to find out ways of solving this problem. If you have long, Tamil Nadu is already saying that we are a parent state, we don't get much of the water unless at the mercy of the neighboring state. So are we part of Indian Union or we are not part of Indian Union? Are we going to be treated fairly or not? Or we are not going to get the type of water that is due to us, which we feel is required for us. Are we going to get it or not? That's again an issue which are raising. Already Dr. Kasturandan was pointing out the legal framework that we created for dividing water between two states, and it worked for a long time very favorably, like between Punjab and Haryana. But now suddenly Punjab decided that we are not going to be bound by this tribunal award, we will decide on our own. So this is a new phenomenon which is coming up, that a framework that we had in place, which we thought is going to be adequately addressing the problem of water sharing, is now seriously under stress because unilaterally the states are taking action. Probably we will see more of such phenomena in the years to come, because when the availability of water is under stress, demand is rising, then the stress situation arises. When these agreements are made, probably the stress situation has not reached a level at which the trigger point was there now, and therefore this is something which is really going to be a serious issue in the next few years' time. So we'll have political problems coming out of water, we'll have social problems coming out of water, and probably the entire scheme of things which actually bind the Union of India together may be under serious pressure only because of water. And therefore if you want to really address these issues, we have to think differently than what we have done so far. Do we need legal solutions? Yes, we do need legal solutions. Do we need constitutional solutions? Yes, we do definitely need that. Do we need technical solutions? Yes, we also need technical solutions. But more than all this, what we really need is a solution which will bring people together, and that is what we are achieving through zonal water partnership. And therefore, I really wish to congratulate Dr. Shanta Mohan as well as Shashi Kumar, who worked on creating this zonal water partnership through Global Water Partnership umbrella. And I'm very happy that all of you are present here today. Whatever we share always is a bone of contention. It is a share of power between Samajwadi Party and UPA. It is the share of power between CPM and UPA. It is the share of power between Indian constituents or between India and UPA. Whenever you try to share something, there is a problem. So sharing of water is still more a problem, because obviously without water you cannot survive. Of course we politicians do not survive without power also, that's why it's such a problem for us. But water, common man cannot survive without water, and so sharing is always a cause of problem. And therefore, if sharing becomes inevitable, like in case of water, because it's an interstate river, then we must find out a way of how can we share it most equitably without causing conflict. Most of the rivers in India are interstate. And therefore, sharing, if it has to be found out, I think the only way we can really do it again by bringing these people together and trying to find out how that can be done. In water, as Dr. Kassim pointed out, almost 83 to 85% of water is used for agriculture. So if you want to be successful zonal water partnership, you must make sure that you bring farmers together. If the farmers are not together from either side, of this side of the river or that side of the river, from downstream river or upstream river, or lower riparian or upper riparian, the farmers have to first come together, because if they are not there, the critical mass who is actually going to be the stakeholders in this are not going to be there. So each zonal water partnership must have substantial presence of farmers organization or farmers themselves. Without that, it is really not going to work, because only small percentage of water is used for domestic consumption, and most of it again is used in the cities. When you use them in the cities, anyway the city dwellers do not know where the water comes from. They seldom realize that water is coming from, in case of Mumbai for example, the water is coming from Nashik, which is so far away from Mumbai. So they don't really understand. But those who actually are living on the banks of the river or using the river water for their irrigation, they are the ones who are going to be directly impacted, affected, and they know the importance of this sharing of water. So unless we bring the farmers together, it is really not going to work. So I think each of the water partnership must have a substantial presence of farmers in this zonal water partnership, because without them, it is not going to work at all.